Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Or if you are new here, hello and welcome. I am Nesli and I'm a pattern maker. And I'm super happy that you are here with me today because we are going to do something super fun, a makeup bag. This pattern has been one of my best sellers on Etsy and I've been blown away by the love and support I received. Thank you so much. Now, I've heard from so many of you asking for a video tutorial, and I totally get that because it's sometimes easier to see the steps come to life rather than reading all of the written instructions on a piece of paper. So today I am here with the full video tutorial for you. And this video is a part of 3-part series covering makeup bag, vanity bag and hair tool bag, all of which are available as a bundle and also separately in my shop. And in this video, we are going to be focusing, like I said, on makeup bag, but you can go ahead and check out that other videos for the other bags. And this bag has 3 different sizes. This one is large. This one is medium. And this cute one is small. And we are going to be doing the medium size together in this video. And we are going to go step by step from printing and assembling the pattern to sewing up this cute and adorable and very practical bag. Whether you're a beginner or you have been sewing for a while, I think you are going to love this project. So grab your fabric, get your pattern, and let's get started.
Open your file with Adobe Acrobat Reader. This is a free application and you can download it pretty easily with a quick Google search. First, click Layers icon. And if you cannot locate it, simply go to View, Show Hide, Side Panels, and there it is. This Always Check layer should always be selected. This layer is where all the necessary information is, such as print test square, names of the pieces, and connection markings. And as you can see, there are multiple sizes on top of each other, making it really difficult to detect which one is which. Let's say you are a size medium, so unselect all the other sizes from this list here, leaving only the medium size visible. To print, select actual size option as the other ones won't give you the correct measurements. To test if our print is in the right measurements, we have a test square. One is 5 by 5 in centimeters, other is 2 by 2 in inches. Measure in the unit of measurement you are using. If they match, then you are good to go. These little triangles and quarter circles help you to match the pieces correctly. Each quarter circle includes a letter and a number. Match the quarter circles with the same letter and number to form a full circle with perfect alignment. All patterns are inside of a dashed box. Cut one side of the overlapping pages and leave the other side intact for connecting. Align the triangles and the matching quarter circle markers. To ensure accurate assembly, you can use tape or glue, whichever you prefer. And for the final step of assembly, simply cut along the outer 1 cm seam allowance line. All pattern pieces include seam allowances, so you don't have to add any. You'll need wadding, main fabric, lining, matching thread, and zippers. You can use pre-made zippers and the exact lengths for each size can be found in the table included in the instruction file. Place your makeup bag pattern piece on your wadding. Cut a rectangle that's 5 cm larger than your pattern pieces on each side. This extra margin is essential because the fabric tends to shrink slightly after quilting. Cut your main fabric to the same size as the wadding, then pin them together in a few spots to keep them secure. Using the selvage edge as a guide, draw a line down the center of the fabric parallel to the edges. I set my quilting foot to create 3 cm spacing between each stitch line. Start by stitching along the drawn center line. Once you finish it, use the quilting foot to guide you as you create parallel stitch lines evenly across the fabric. If you don't have a quilting foot, don't worry. Simply mark parallel lines on your fabric at your preferred intervals using a washable or erasable fabric pen, and follow those lines with your stitches. Now that our fabric is prepped, it is time to start cutting out your pattern pieces. Place your makeup bag pattern piece onto the quilted rectangle. Make sure the notches on each edge align with the stitch lines on the fabric. Once everything is aligned, carefully cut around the pattern and cut your zipper handles as well. The list of all the pieces you need to cut is included in the instruction file. Make sure you don't forget to snip all the notches. These will help guide your assembly later, so take your time to make them accurate. After cutting your quilted fabric, you might notice the edges lifting or separating slightly. To secure these and prevent the cut stitching from unraveling further, sew a basting stitch very close to the edge of each pattern piece. This will help keep everything in place and make the assembly process smoother. I'm using an erasable fabric pen to mark the notches so they are easier to see on camera. After cutting out the pattern pieces from the lining fabric, mark all the notches again with the same pen. The notches on the top of the pocket piece are especially important for properly forming the pocket. With the help of a ruler, draw a straight line between the opposite notches. Do a parallel one using the two lower notches as well. Using the notches on the top edge as a guide, draw two more lines perpendicular to the first ones. This will create a rectangle, marking the opening where we will place and sew the zipper. Since the lining looks the same on both sides, I'm writing back on the wrong side to avoid confusion. Place the lining piece with the right side facing up. The top edge of the pocket should face the same direction as the top edge of the lining. Align the side notches with these corners, keeping the wrong side of the pocket facing up so that both pieces' right sides are touching. Pin in a few places, then stitch along the marked rectangle. Draw a line through the center of the rectangle, running between the two horizontal lines. Then, at each end, draw small diagonal lines extending from the center line to the corners, forming tiny triangles. Cut open the zipper opening following the horizontal line until you reach the triangles. Then you will cut diagonally along the triangle markings up to the corners of the rectangle. Be careful not to cut the stitching, but get as close as possible. This will form the pocket opening where you will sew the zipper. Pass the pocket piece through the opening you cut and turn it to the other side. Tuck all edges of the pocket piece inside through this opening. Press it neatly to ensure a crisp and clean finish. If you are using a continuous zipper like me, I'll show you how to add the zipper pull. Otherwise, you can find the zipper lengths for both the bag and the pocket in the table in the instructions. Cut the zipper slightly longer than the opening. Separate the teeth a little at one end and trim one side slightly shorter. Insert the pointed end of the zipper pull onto the longer side of the teeth first, sliding it in until it reaches the shorter side. Then align the shorter side into the second slot of the pull. Once both sides are secured, gently pull the zipper pull forward while holding the teeth firmly to close the zipper. With the right side of the lining facing up, place your zipper within the zipper opening and position your zipper end to one side. Pin it in place. Then do a top stitch along the edge of the rectangle. Turn the lining wrong side facing up and cut off the excess zipper if you have any. Fold the bottom of the pocket piece up to match the top edge. You will only sew the 2 layers of the pocket piece. Pin along the top edge of the pocket piece without catching the lining itself and sew. Next, to close the short edges of the pocket, sew a basting stitch along the edges, securing it together with the lining. Now our pocket is completed. Now we'll attach the zipper to the main fabric. I'll prepare my zipper using the same method. Fold the zipper in half and cut a small notch on each side at the fold. These notches will align with the notches on the top edge of the main fabric. With your main quilted fabric right side up, place your zipper right side down, aligning the edge of the zipper to the top edge of your quilted fabric. Pin it in place and sew it all the way. Use a zipper foot and sew as close to the zipper teeth as possible. Now align the other side of the zipper with the opposite edge of the bag. Mesh the notches and pin everything in place. Open up your zipper and repeat the process by sewing it. Turn the bag right side out, and as you can see, after you sew the zipper to both of your edges, sides of the main fabric should align like this. Now let's sew the lining. Place your lining right side down. So the right sides of your main quilted fabric and lining should face each other, sandwiching the zipper in the middle. Mesh the top middle notches again. The zipper teeth should be visible between the right sides of the two fabric pieces like this. Now for the other side. While ensuring the right sides are touching, align the other top edge of the lining with the other top edge of the main fabric. Align every matching notch and edge together. For this edge, we'll leave an approximately 10 cm opening in the center. The size of the opening depends on the size you are sewing. Skip the middle opening and sew only the sides. This way, once we finish sewing everything that needs to be done inside, we will turn the entire bag right side out through this gap. Opening will be at the center of the edge like this. Now it is time for top stitching. Let's start from the edge where we didn't leave an opening. When top stitching on this side, gather all seam allowances under the main fabric and sew all the way through from the right side of the main fabric. On the side where we left the opening, the situation will be a bit different. Instead of gathering all the edges together and sewing them at once, separate the zipper and main fabric to one side and the lining to the other. Top stitch from the right side of the main fabric, ensuring the zipper and the main fabric are underneath. By doing this, we will not sew up this gap that we left open and will continue to leave it as an opening. If we had included the lining in the seam allowances while sewing the top stitching, this gap would have been closed. Turn the bag inside out again, exposing both the lining and the main fabric to the wrong side. Align the lining and main fabric, ensuring that all their short edges match perfectly. Carefully stack all the layers on top of each other, making sure everything is evenly aligned before proceeding to the next step. Before sewing close the side seams, we need to place the zipper handles. So let's prepare the zipper handles. First, fold in half, right sides facing each other. Sew a straight stitch along the edge. Then cut the excess seam allowance to turn easily. Turn it inside out. Make sure your seam line is in the middle. Press with your iron. Bring the short edges together with the seam line on the inside and join them with a basting stitch. Align all the layers making sure the corners match perfectly and pin them together. Before pinning the topmost main fabric layer, place the zipper handle between these two notches, ensuring its raw edge aligns with the raw edge of the main fabric. You will have 2 layers of lining and 2 layers of quilted main fabric on top of each other with the zipper handle in the middle of them. Now line up all of the layers and pin down your side seams for the other side as well. If your zipper is extending off your back, it is crucial to remember to open up the zip and to make sure the zipper pull is encased within the back. Sew along the seam line with 1 cm seam allowance. Now onto the corners. Start with the quilted fabric. With your fingers, pinch the corners and pull these corners apart from each other. This new edge will be perpendicular to the edge you sewed just before. Once this new edge is formed, pin these 2 quilted main fabric layers together. You'll rotate the back to face the other side and do the same things for the lining. Likewise, hold the corners and pull to create a new edge. Now we will match and align these 2 new edges you have created. Put the 2 edges on top of each other and pin them together nicely. You will repeat this process for all 4 corners. Sew along the seam line at 1 cm seam allowance. Now we are going to flip the bag inside out from the opening we left before. Carefully pull all fabric from inside to outside. Now that we turn out the bag inside out, we are so close to finish line. It is time to close the gap. We will close this gap by pinning the main fabric and lining together and following the sewing line on which we top stitch. The back side should look like this when we pin it. But if you pin it from the right side of the fabric, it will be much easier to sew accurately on the sewing machine. You can also choose the hand stitch it to close using an invisible stitch. Make sure you close this gap well by sewing a little longer than the beginning and end of the gap. When you look from the inside, only this little seam will be visible. In fact, when you use your bag in daily life, this seam will be at an angle you'll never see. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did putting together this adorable makeup bag. If you enjoyed this tutorial or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more sewing tutorials and tips. Don't forget, you can find the pattern for this makeup bag and many others in my Etsy shop. Just check out the link in the description below. I love to see your creations, so feel free to tag me on Instagram using the hashtag #NesliePatterns. Thank you again for your support, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, happy sewing!